And what is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Poor Judgment. I am your host, David.
And I'm Marcus.
And we welcome you once again to our lovely podcast here on what we call probably one of my truly favorite forms of alcohol, Whiskey Wednesday.
Listen, I'm not a slut for many things, but for whiskey, I will do unspeakable things.
I will definitely toot it up for some whiskey.
Toot it and boot it. It don't matter. Like I'm here for it.
I'm always down for some whiskey. Well, we are here on Whiskey Wednesday, as we always do. We pour up a drink, pull up a seat, and we have a little discussion. Marcus, this was your lovely idea, so I would love to hear what we have planned today.
So we'll go ahead and introduce what we're drinking here in 2 seconds. And then I figured kind of our early on sessions when people can get to know us, we'll do like our top 5 greatest movies. And of course, there's always a hard, it's very hard to just do your top 5. So we're going to do 2 honorable mentions. So really it's top 7, but we'll rank them from 7 down to 1, and we'll go back and forth and just see where we cross over, what kind of genres. I think we are going to be very similar, maybe not ranking wise, but in the genres that we pick.
I can agree with that for the most part. I know there's one movie. I'm going to have a rough guess of it already, and I'll let you know when I think of it. I already feel like I know it just because of how I know you. But yeah, I think it'll be exciting. It was hard. I'm not going to hold you. It was hard because there was a lot of good movies. I kept like changing my list. 1 second, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the, wait a minute. But then there's this one. And then there's like, oh wait, there's this one. I don't know how I feel about this. My 2 honorable mentions even, let alone my top 5.
That's exactly how I was. I was going back and forth, and I was like staying tried and true to what I always say is like my top 5 greatest movies of all times. But there have been so many movies that I'm like, we're right on the border.
Right.
My 5 are almost all interchangeable. Like they're all right there next to each other. Maybe the top 2 are like my true ones, and then 3, 4, and 5 kind of can interchange. But once you get out of there, it from 6 to 10, it's who knows. I could pick 15 different movies that would fit in that little ranking range, and it would all be the same.
Right, and it's hard to say, like, this is the one that I put over this one. This is the one I want over this one. Like, it's just hard, and I won't lie on that. But, yeah, so to get us started, let's talk about what we're pouring up. What you pouring today?
As the whiskey snob I am, for those of you who are into the modern age of whiskey, you will know that Jack Daniel's just dropped a 14-year whiskey at this time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and in honor of that, I am not rich enough to be able to just go out and buy one or find one or talk to someone who would be able to just hold one for me. I do have a Jack Daniel's 10-year, which is absolutely fantastic. The normal Jack Daniel's that you find at the store is it's a great mixer. It's a trash straight drinker. This Jack Daniel's 10 is probably one of my favorite things that Jack Daniel's has put out. So that's what I'm sipping on in a just straight Glencairn. So I'm drinking it nice and neat. No ice, nothing like that. It doesn't need it. Getting the full
that full body,
the full bodiness of it.
I wish people could see this, because man, you look so sophisticated right now. This boy just needs a tuxedo on, and he's sophisticated. That's what I want for my bachelor party, right there.
Oh, easy.
That's what I want right there. So I'm being a little basic today, and I'm actually having Jack Daniel's too, but I'm having Jack Daniel's with a Coke. This is one of my first, and it's still a classical cocktail I enjoy. I still love drinking these at a nice country concert, having a Jack and Coke in hand, and yeah, I just love it. Like, I can drink that. I mean, mules are still the one, but this is riding right there next to second, like kissing cousins right there, like we in Alabama, baby.
I do find myself always falling back to the Jack and Coke. Like you said, concerts, Jack and Coke. It's the tried and true. It'll never let you down.
Never.
It's that girl you're going to booty call at 4 a.m. and you know for a fact, like, it's not a no. It's 100. It's a yes, and they will be there, and they will be excited about it, and it'll be a great time every time.
You
Not
know,
the best time, but a great time.
It won't be top 10, but I'll be damned if you won't remember it in the top 15. No. All right. Well, to get us started, we are going to be talking about our top. We're going to do our honorable mentions first, but we're going to be talking about our top 5 movies. So do you want to do your first 2 honorable mentions? You want to do one-on-one?
Yeah, I say we go back and forth. So I'll go first. That's no biggie with me.
Okay.
So my first honorable mention, or my number 7, it is a tried and true movie. I think it is arguably one of the best, if not top 3 movies of the series, and I'm going to go with Winter Soldier.
Captain America Winter Soldier?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't expect that.
So here, and I'll give away some movies that are not on my list here. Maverick, the new one, the Top Gun Maverick, was on my list, and I sat there and I thought, if Maverick was on at the exact same time as Winter Soldier, I would watch Winter Soldier.
Really?
Maverick is, I will admit, Maverick is the best action movie of the modern day era in the last, I'd almost even say 10 years. For sure the last 5, it is a great movie, but I just kept going back of the fight scenes in Winter Soldier. It is, like I said, one of the top, if not top 3 movies of that franchise. I'm sticking with it at number 7, Winter Soldier.
Wow, I really did not expect that out of you, honestly, because, like, you know, it's funny. I almost had Maverick's not on my list. I'll just spoil that right off the rip. Although it was close. It was like it was right there, bro.
Right there. Yes.
Like, I was like, bro, this has to make room. And then when I have the other movies, I'm kind of like, I don't know. But dang, Winter Soldier, right off the riff, you're already shocking me, bro. I didn't expect that answer.
Number 7.
Okay. So for my bottom honorable mention, I actually have Infinity War.
Okay.
Infinity War to me is the best Marvel movie on the block. I absolutely love it. The build up to it was phenomenal, and just the way it ends to this day just shakes me to my core, because it's like, for once it's different. It's not like, oh, they will prevail at the end, or this hero will be the one that said, no, for once the good guys lost. And I just remember the shock and awe on my face when I sat there and I said, okay, so there's at least another hour to this movie, right? And then next thing you know, they rolled the credits and I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean that's it? Like, that there's not more? And to this day, I still love that movie. And I think really after that, it kind of just was like fluctuating on good and bad in Marvel, but Infinity War is my 7, bro. I almost had it up closer, but I had to put it at 7 because of what's up top.
That was one of like the top 3 that I was talking about because of what you mentioned, right? Mm-hmm. It changed the whole dynamic of what we knew for superhero movies. Is like, okay, even if we knew a trilogy was coming out or 2 movies, there's always that glimmer of hope at the end. Mm-hmm. And this was the movie where it was like, that's it. There is no glimmer. Like, you knew, obviously, if you were kind of into the comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, like, if you were just a normal fan, like, you grew up just watching the movies, and you walked into there and you're like, no, it can't end like this. Like, there's no way.
There's no fucking way. It has to be different.
You have no idea what's coming up next. You have, like, even if you think, like, okay, there might be a movie after this, you don't know what they're going to do with it.
Right.
It was a great movie, and like I said at the beginning of this, our genres are going to be very, very similar. Our 7th are the exact same series.
It's funny because I almost didn't do it because I was like, can I really argue that? But then I kept thinking about it, and I was like, if Infinity, like you said with the Winter Soldier, if Infinity War right now came on TNT, I would probably turn this podcast off and start watching it.
You know what? Honestly,
worth
it. Yeah.
So number 7 for me, Marvel's Infinity War.
But that is a great one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great pick. Okay. For my number 6, sticking in the genre of superheroes, I'm going to go The Dark Knight.
Ooh, okay.
I always find myself, again, when it's on, like, and I'm searching through the channels, which I don't, normally I don't have cable or anything like that. My parents do. But if I roll past it, like, that is a movie I will stop and watch. It was one of the first movies that I can actually remember. Like, sure, you had Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, the whole trilogy. I just feel like The Dark Knight was like that. It was the perfect amount of action and character development for that series with Christian Bale, who is my Batman, right? Like, everyone has a Batman. Christian Bale will be my Batman, although Robert Pattinson,
right there, right.
I love that. Ben Affleck trash. But the way that they ran that movie, and I just remember more scenes the more that I go back and think about it from The Dark Knight than both Dark Knight Rises and then Batman Begins. So number 6, Dark Knight.
Absolutely great choice. I can't comment too much because it may or may not be somewhere on mine.
Of course, yeah.
As you are proving our point more and more every drink.
I do it.
But no, terrific choice. Absolutely love that movie. Iconic. Deserves more Oscars than it got. I'm just gonna leave right there because I think you described it perfectly. I think that's what that is. So my second honorable mention, number 6, I have I Am Legend with Will Smith.
That is a great one.
Terrific, right?
That is a great one.
I remember watching that movie, and nor did I have fears of being in the dark that something was just going to be crawling out. But like, that was probably a top 2 Will Smith movie. Like, out of all his movies, I would have to argue that and Independence Day are his 2 best films. And I had to admit that I Am Legend has to have been like my favorite out of all of them because it was scary, it was emotional with the dog, and just like, I still remember that scene where he's looking at the mannequin and he's like, if you're real, you better say something.
Yep.
And so that movie, and the fact that they had 2 kind of different endings is interesting. Even though the main movie had one, they had like a whatever little spoiler one. Overall though, I thought that movie was chef's kiss. Excellente.
Yeah, I would arguably put that as Will Smith's best movie.
Over Independence Day?
Here's the thing: is Will Smith plays a role in Independence Day.
That's fair. That's very fair.
There are multiple main characters in Independence Day. He is one of the major ones. But I would say for a solo or majority major role, I would say that's probably Will Smith's best.
I can agree to that. That actually makes sense.
The only thing is I am a person with twists. So when you start getting to like World War Z and you get the little twist at the end where it's like, oh, if you're sick, they're not going to get you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's the only reason, and I find that with the video games that I really enjoy or the movies that I really enjoy, there's, even if it's not on my list, it was going to be one of my honorable mentions, just got beat out, but The Sixth Sense, right? The twist at The Sixth Sense threw me for such a loop when I was old enough to watch it and actually understand what happens.
Right.
That I was like, oh my God, this is a masterpiece.
Yeah. And it's one of those twists where once you see it, you can never unsee it.
You see it, you rewatch the movie, and it is a completely different movie.
And when you go through the whole movie just knowing, you're like, how did I miss this? Like, how did this not make sense the first time?
See it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. That is like one of the greatest plot twists I've ever seen in a movie.
But I Am Legend is a great one. Not one that I even thought about.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That wasn't even my top 5, and now I'm feeling like I should slightly move it. I won't, but yeah.
Here is where things get different, and this is where I think our lists are going to start to differ.
Okay.
Because I feel I am an old movie buff.
Okay.
And you are a new movie buff.
Okay.
So here's where we're going to be thrown for a loop. I think this is going to be the one that I don't know if you really would have had this on your list or even thought about it. The number 5 of my top 5 movies of all time. I will always watch this. I love it. I can quote multiple lines from it whenever. Is Good Will Hunting.
Oh, you know what? That is a great movie. I don't know why I didn't think about that for you. You love that movie.
I love that movie. Matt Damon is arguably one of the greatest actors of my generation, I would say, who is still living.
Mm-hmm.
That I just, every movie that he acts in is a hit for whatever reason. It's not necessarily just him. He just knows how to pick them.
Yeah.
So Good Will Hunting, I've watched it no less than 15 billion times. I love that movie. I love the plot line. There's not really much of a twist there, but it's just a homegrown kid getting out of, whatever, situation he's in, talking shit. Mm-hmm. I love that movie. Good Will Hunting, my number 5.
I think didn't Ben Affleck win like Best Supporting Actor or something for that movie?
I know
think
they
he won an award for
they
that.
won a couple of awards. I think they won a couple of awards. I'm not an award person, honestly.
Oh, okay.
I don't care for the any of the Oscars, Grammys, anything that has to do with awards for songs, movies, TV shows. I don't watch because, especially as of lately, half of the movies or half of the songs you've never even heard of.
Yeah, fair.
Or you've heard it once and you're like, oh, okay, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's
like they pick them for whatever like weird, different, deeper meaning rather than just a sit down, homegrown, feel good movie.
Yeah, I respect that. Honestly, I forgot about that movie. That is a terrific movie. Robin Williams kills it. Ben Affleck, like everyone is just grade A acting.
Yeah.
And I still remember, how do you like them apples?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great choice. Great choice. I like that one a lot. So my number 5 is actually an older movie. But it's more of the reason why I like it is A Few Good Men.
Oh my God.
With Tom Cruise?
Yes.
I was going to say that Maverick was Tom Cruise's best movie, but then I was like, I can't say that and then have A Few Good Men on here. A Few Good Men for me is one of the movies that it really inspired a lot in my life because like at one point I wanted to be a Navy JAG. Like I wanted to be a lawyer in the Navy and I was like, I want to be Tom motherfucking Cruise out here. And I just love that movie. The little courtroom, and then of course the iconic line, "You can't handle the truth." I love it. I love that movie to death. I can watch that anytime, and I just enjoy it every single time. I don't learn anything new, but I always see it. And then Kevin Bacon's in it too. You got Jack Nicholson, you got Tom Cruise, you got Kevin Bacon, you got Demi Moore. Like it's just star-studded. It's just a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie. That was one where I was sitting at my honorable mention area and it flashed up. It was a thought in the process, and you'll see from the rest of my list here that I felt that it fit where I normally like to watch movies in that genre area, but I never find myself sitting there going, like, I want to watch a Few Good Men. Whenever I watch it, I enjoy it to its absolute highest potential.
Right.
But I never seek it out. But that is a great, great movie, great cast, great storyline.
Absolutely.
100% good. Let's see. What are we at? Number 4?
Yep, number 4.
Now, I'm going to go even further in the past.
Okay.
And I think this is like my area where I'm not dating myself because this is even a movie before me, but I'm dating like what I was introduced to as a younger kid.
Right.
And my number 4 is going to go The Green Mile.
Ooh, okay. A little Stephen King on us.
If you go and you watch The Green Mile, there is nothing flashy about it.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit of a like twist to it that you catch on very early on into the movie, but it is just you fall in love with the like 2-3 main characters, and there's no twisting to it. It's one of those, you fall in love with the characters, you follow these characters, and at the end there is no winner.
Yeah.
It is one of those movies where you know what the ending has to be. That's what the ending is, and you're still left with a satisfaction that is unsatisfactory, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you kind of like want this more, like you're not happy with the way it ended, but you're also happy with the way that it ended. Like
you are satisfied with the way it ended, but you wished it had ended differently.
Exactly, yeah.
You have Tom Hanks, who I am a huge fan. It's not on my list. It used to be one of my top 5, which is Big, which is another Tom Hanks movie, kind of goofy, but Tom Hanks in The Green Mile plays this just perfection guard in a prison who has this soft spot, but only when he really has to. And all of a sudden, this movie just breaks everyone down. And you're like, oh, these people are human. You see the human emotion to these characters, and that's where you kind of put yourself in that movie.
Yeah.
And I absolutely 100% love this movie, and that's why it's number 4.
Yeah, every time I see, is it Michael Duncan? Is that the name of the main prisoner?
Yes, the big like 6'6".
Yeah, linebacker. yeah.
Every I know.
I love Little Michael.
That's a great movie too.
Yeah, that should be on that list. No, every time I think about that, like the whole time you're like, okay, he's going on death row, and then when he finally starts making his way there, you're like, man, like why? Like, why it gotta be him? Why?
We can
why?
stop it, right?
Yeah,
we
like
something. We could
like,
do something.
Can we find a lawyer that comes in and says he's innocent and slam papers on the window and
right?
And then of course you don't get it. No, that's a terrific choice. I forgot about that movie too. Damn, you got a good list with some throwbacks. So my number 4 is gonna be a completely different twist.
Okay.
Yeah, number 4. I have Django.
Dude, yes. Yes. It took everything in my being to not put this movie on my list.
Yeah. At first, I was sitting there and I was kind of going through it and I was kind of analyzing it. And one of the things I realized was that out of all of them, I didn't have a Quentin Tarantino movie. And I love Quentin Tarantino movies. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, well, let me think about my favorite. And then I realized Django. And I was like, bro, I love Django. That is, to this day, Jamie Foxx's best movie, Christoph Waltz's best movie. I won't say Leonardo. But, and it's definitely up there for Samuel L. Jackson. And I'm like, this is a terrific movie. It's bloody. It's action-packed. It has a good story. It's hilarious. And, like, you actually love, like, the characters. Like, you love all of the characters, except for maybe Leonardo. He was a little interesting in that one, but... But I absolutely love that movie. When I thought about it, I was like, yeah, this got to make the list. This got to make the list.
Yeah, man. I sat down and I looked at my top 3, and I knew my top 3. I just had to fix which order. And then once we started going from 3 to 5, like they started filling in pretty much on their own. But the second I got to the honorable mentions, there was 5 or 6 of them that I was rotating through for the past, couple hours. And Django was one of them. And the only reason that I didn't do it is I just couldn't. I couldn't remember the last time I watched it.
Okay.
And that was my problem. Like, I had watched all of these recently enough, and I was like, Django's a great movie, but I've watched these movies before that one, so obviously my subconscious is like, this one better.
Yeah.
Which it may not be. Django very well could probably fit in my 4, 5, 6, 7. Great pick.
Yeah.
Great pick.
It's just, and it's funny. I can quote that movie up and down, left and right. Like, I still love Samuel L. Jackson's character just being in there. She did that to her own damn self, running through them damn bushes and shit. I love that
line for years now.
If people saw how I acted out there, they would see I would quote that line all the time.
Exactly.
Monsieur Candy did that to her own self.
Yep.
But yeah, Django up there for sure. Love it. So
now this is where I had to make a very rough decision, and I have both of the names here sitting at number 3. And it wasn't until about, 30 minutes, 40 minutes before we jumped on the podcast that I made my final decision up. Okay. So I'm going to tell you it's a Star Wars movie.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. If I had told you that I'm fighting between 2 movies, which 2 would you say?
Empire Strikes Back or Revenge of the Sith?
You know me.
I know you like the back of my hand, bruh.
And here is where my decision lied. I feel that Empire Strikes Back is a better movie.
Absolutely.
But
when
I find myself quoting Star Wars,
the plot twist,
and start thinking about scenes that I'm like, that is a dope scene, Revenge of the Sith keeps popping up.
Okay.
So for my number 3, I am going to go with Revenge of the Sith for the simple fact of the Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker standoff and dialogue at the end of the movie that is so iconic that if you've never seen Star Wars, and I said something along the lines of, I've brought peace, serenity to my new empire, you'd be like, oh, I think that's a Star Wars quote, right? So for my number 3, I'm going to go with Revenge of the Sith. And it was such a tough battle in my mind internally to try to justify over the probably better movie of Empire Strikes Back.
That's fair. I mean, when you think about it, we grew up with Revenge of the Sith. We grew up with the first 3, or quote unquote the last 3, whatever. And Revenge of the Sith, that is the best fight in all of the movies. Is Obi-Wan.
100%.
That choreography is amazing, and to this day, people want to be like that. That is the greatest fight scene ever, and I agree. I loved it because you know what. It started off a little emotional, like with Anakin and being like, oh, I don't know if I should be killing him, to just Anakin just out here slaughtering and just taking care of the Jedi. And he's all like, oh, you didn't make me a master? Let me show you how it's done. And I mean, I still think 5 is better, if I'll be brutally honest, only because we didn't live through it. But that iconic twist of Luke, I am your father,
100%,
is one of the greatest cinematic twists of all time. When you're like, wait, what? And I to this day always quote that to people, which is, I wish I was alive during that time so I could have saw that in the movie theater and just see the whole audience go, you know,
God.
Yeah. Yes. But I do agree, Revenge of the Sith, sorry, as you can see the whiskey hitting already. Revenge of the Sith, absolutely one of the best Star Wars movie. I mean, it's up there, and I don't blame you for putting it right there on the list, bruh. That's a great movie.
It was right there.
It was there the whole time. All right. So mine's a little different from that. My number 3, you probably have seen this. You probably saw this one coming a little bit. I'm going to go number 3 is Training Day with Denzel Washington.
Yep.
Yeah. I absolutely love that movie. That to me is still to this day Denzel's best movie. And I absolutely just love all the lines in it and everything like that. So Training Day for sure.
Yeah. Great pick.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Interstellar.
Ooh, great one.
I'm gonna go modern day. I'm gonna go Matthew McConaughey. It's a deep thinker. There's a plot twist at the end. It literally just fits my build of what a great movie can be. At no point are you left sitting there going like, "Oh, I'm bored."
Yeah.
Even if the long moments are there, you're like, "Oh my God, what's gonna happen? What's next? Oh, how are they gonna do this?"
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that because that is a terrific movie. I was just rewatching that and I definitely love the plot twist at the end of that too. Like when you find out he was the one that was trying to tell him not to leave.
Exactly.
Loved it. It's funny you also say that because my number 2, The Dark Knight.
Great. Yep.
I love Christopher Nolan films. As you said, Ben Affleck will... not Ben Affleck. That's disrespectful. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Christian Bale will always be our Batman. And I, to this day, will watch that movie anytime it's on Netflix, anytime it's on TV. I love that. Heath Ledger absolutely murders the role of Joker. And I will say that is the best Batman movie. I would argue the best Batman movie with Robert Pattinson's right in second, but that's another podcast episode.
The only time that there will be a better Batman movie is when someone sacks up and decides to make a rated R Batman, and they actually allow him to kill. That's not the normal Batman we've seen. That's not the normal Batman we're used to. That's the only twist that I will think that was going to put someone above and beyond.
I mean, it wasn't rated R, but Ben Affleck's Batman killed. He for sure killed. You see how some of those bodies fell? You see how he exploded full-on cars? Ain't no way that motherfucker didn't kill somebody.
I need heads exploding.
I need batarangs to the eye.
Confirmed KIAs.
I want them to have search warrants on houses to find Batman.
Exactly.
But yeah, Christopher Nolan film. I like that we both have 2 a Christopher Nolan film.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the best directors of all time.
Absolutely. My absolute favorite.
You can't, there's no other director that is even going to come close to touching the, number of number 1 movies that Christopher Nolan has come up with.
Okay, fair. I like that. All right. You're number 1.
Okay. I lied when I said that I wasn't going to go further back.
Okay.
My number 1 movie is even further back than Green Mile, which was my number 4, and I'm going to go Tombstone.
I knew it. There it was. That was it. That was the movie.
Yeah. It's been my all-time number 1 favorite movie of ever. I can't. Anytime it is on, I will put it on. Anytime I can find it for free, I will put it on. Val Kilmer as Doc Holliday with the "I'll be a Huckleberry." I can quote that movie up and down, each way, back and forth, and never get tired of it. It is the best Western ever created.
Amen, brother.
There is nothing wrong with that movie. There's not one scene that I would take out of it. There's not one scene that I would trade out for something else. There's nothing where it's like, oh, it needs more action or needs more drama. It is just perfection.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Best Western ever. And for a quick story, for those that don't know, when I graduated for our decoration caps, when we graduated, I was getting 2 degrees. And so I had Doc Holliday on my cap where he was holding 2 degrees. And he said, I got 2 degrees, 1 for each of you from the movie. And I agree. Love that movie. I knew that was coming up. I thought maybe it was going to be 2. But then I was like, maybe he's going to surprise me. And he made it number 1. I knew it. But no, terrific choice. Love that movie. Absolutely banger. So my number 1 is going to be another Christopher Nolan film.
Yep. Bring it on.
And it's Inception.
Yep.
I love Inception. And what I love about Inception, the absolute most, not just Leonardo's great acting, not the visual effects only and everything. I love all that. The number 1 thing I love about it is, to this day, and I swear to you, I'm not even lying, I see that movie and I always see something new I didn't see the last time. Every single time. And it feels like that movie just evolves as we watch it. And every time I see it, I'm just like, I didn't see that last time. And I'm like, this is the greatest movie, and I love that movie. I will watch it. I've probably seen it 12 times, and I would see it 12 more times.
Yeah, I agree. It is one of those that as you evolve, the movie evolves with you, and as your understanding of the movie evolves, then you slowly but surely starts picking up little bits and pieces, and you're like, oh, that makes this make sense. But I still don't understand this one. And then you rewatch it and you're like, oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah. absolutely. And you're like, oh wow, I didn't catch that the last time. But well, as we're winding up, I do have to ask you a traditional rapid fire question.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yep.
So my rapid fire question is: at any point did you think about putting a Will Ferrell movie on this list?
You know what? I did.
I did too.
I did. I went through and I started thinking about genres that I normally watch, and comedy is always one that I really, really love. Mm-hmm. And I there were just so many that were like, you have iconic lines, iconic, kicking and screaming. The other guys was my main one.
Same.
That I was sitting here trying to figure out if I could fit it in, and I couldn't. I couldn't put it in between any of the other movies where I would be able to justify like this, just the stupid funny aspect of it, of just pure enjoyment.
Yeah.
I tried. There were a couple of them.
Dude, I tried today too. I kept sitting there and I was thinking, bro, the other guys are Talladega Nights. It's got to be somewhere, because I can quote those movies nonstop all day, forwards and backwards. Mm-hmm. Like no one's business. And I was like, this means it has to be one of my favorites. It has to be one of the most iconic. And it was just hard. I couldn't do it. Nope. I said, not Between the Dark Knight. Definitely not beating those two. No. I said, it's not beating I Am Legend. I said, but just like you said, the pure comedy, the pure joy it brings, the laughs it brings is one of the best things I love about Will Ferrell movies. Specifically those two. And I don't know if I had to fight and pick one. Maybe one episode we ought to just rank Will Ferrell movies.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
We can do that. No problem.
No problem.
That will be one of them.
But yeah, that is, I was like, I got to ask him, did you struggle like I did to put a Will Ferrell movie on here?
I struggled with that, and I struggled with some like pure just action movies. Maverick, yeah. John Wick.
John Wick almost made the list, bro.
Dude, I was right there.
It was right there. I literally had it typed, and I was like, I got to put a number.
The only one that I still am very upset that I couldn't put is, I believe it's called End of Watch. The one with Jake Gyllenhaal. Like
terrific movie.
Great movie. I couldn't put it on there. Like all the other ones beat it out. So
yeah, that was a hard one. Now I forgot. Yeah, that's a great movie. I love that movie. But all right, well, that's going to do it for the Poor Judgment podcast. We thank you for joining us here today. We hope that you enjoyed our conversation of our top favorite personal movies. As always, we encourage you to pour up a drink, pull up a seat, and join us on the next episode. Please like, subscribe, forward it to all your friends, and leave a comment on your personal favorite top 5 movies. We'd love to hear them. Marcus, any last comment?
If you want to rank who made a better list, i.e. me, go right ahead. But it's great talking to you guys. It's great having this conversation. If you have anything more to say, like you said, hit us up on any social media. And see you next time.